Hello, everybody. This is Bob Anderson, and today is July 17th, 2025. Quick update. My last video, I had made $776, something like that. And and then Tuesday, I was gone all day. I wasn't even in the office. Heck, I don't even remember why. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had doctor's appointments. That's right. So Tuesday, I was out all day, or I was not trading. And then yesterday, Wednesday, because I was back in the office, I was really busy. Took a couple trades. I lost like $68, I think, with commissions and all. So I'm still at 700, a little over $700 for the week. So hopefully between today and tomorrow, I can get that last $300 and hit my target for the week. Anyways, that's why I'm a little frustrated still about Monday, because I should have had it Monday. I could have removed all that anxiety if I had just moved my target on that last trade up further to the area that it should have been, and I could have had my $300 right then. But anyways, that's besides the point. Anyway, so what I had talked about in that last video was that I had, the static lines labeled indicator that I emailed out to a bunch of people. And if you need it, just email me. It's on my charts. I use it now. But the other thing I mentioned is that I had something else I wanted to divulge to you guys that I have used in the past a little bit when I was when I was trading with Apex. I would use this tool, and then when I went to my live cash account, I didn't bring it in, but that had to do with the fact that when I started my live account, and I have my licensing stuff adjusted with Ninja. I don't remember the whole scenario, but what I remember is I couldn't find the strategy anymore. It turns out it's all because of that OneDrive issue I was talking about that I just ignored and went old school trading the way I've always traded. And so, what's the difference between what I'm talking about and what it is today? So, I'm going to just show you real quick. All right. I have been, I believe that I came across this strategy because I believe I was asked to be an affiliate. Now, I get these emails all the time, folks. I mean, I get emails to affiliate this, affiliate that, whatever. Ride around your neighborhood in an electric bike and we'll give you one. Just the craziest stuff. You'd be amazed. Just because, you got a YouTube channel. So anyways, but this pertained to trading, and I happen to, spend a little bit of time looking at it, and I said, man, this makes a lot of sense for me. Now, it's an order entry strategy, okay? So, but it's very, very elaborate. So, but what it does have the ability to do, which is why I'm bringing it up, and it helps alleviate one of the most stressful parts, in my opinion, of trading my strategy, which is watching the candle close, and then moving your entry. For example, so let's just say this is the red line coming down, and you got candles going up, going up, going up, going up, right? And so when this one closes, you got an order right here for a sell stop, right? And then the next candle opens and it goes right here. You've got to sit here and watch your timer down here, count down from 1 to 0. You got to sit there and watch that timer do that. And then you got to drag and drop and get it here, right? When that candle closes, the next one to the right. So, one of the things that I've figured out with this software or this strategy system is that real simple. If I lay this strategy into my Ninja, I can actually do that by just pushing a button. So and here's the thing that I like about this, okay? if I'm pushing a button and I get comfortable with what that button is doing when I push it, okay, I can spend more time focusing on what the chart is actually showing me, what's actually happening with the pivots to the left, what's actually happening, with my potential targets, what's actually happening inside the candles, as opposed to sitting here having to keep looking down at this clock here and then dropping my order up even higher. And then the other thing is when this one opens and closes here, okay, and it's above my red line, for example, I just push another button, boom, the trade goes away. Versus me having to find it, and then grab it and move it out of the way or delete it or whatever. I don't have to focus on that as much. But I do still have to shut the potential trade off if we open and close on the wrong side of that line. The other thing this thing does is, for those of you, and again, I don't use it this way, but it'll do entries based off the size of these. Like it has the ability to do this. So let's just say this trade triggers right here. This one right here. Okay. So now you're in. It has the ability, if you want, to take your stop and throw it above this candle right here. And then take a risk reward calculation based off of how far that candle is from your entry, and then create a target based off risk reward. If you're risking $200 and you want to make 3-to-1, then the target would be at $600. It has the ability to do all these really elaborate things. I personally don't use it that way. I don't use the risk reward setting. I use, even though I preach risk reward all the time, I use the tick setting, which is a specific stop loss amount and a specific target amount to get because, for example, how many times have we looked, like, especially like, say, for the NQ, you could have a candle that's $400 long, but the entry is in a really good spot for you. But do you really want it to sling up and take you out for $400? I don't know. It's like I've said before, like I did, even if you go back and look at my video on Monday, when price came, I was long in an NQ, price came back, knocked me out because it ticked through the top. It was a long, it ticked through the top and then came back down. So, but pattern wise, it didn't blow through the bottom of the other candle. And it was still looking long. So what I do is what I did in that case is I let it take me out, and then I just put a reorder on, if I wanted to. So anyways, what I've done is put a link down below to the website. It's called tradesaber.com. And I'm going to do a quick little video right after this. It's going to show you how I loaded it and, how I set it up. Because you got to set up templates. It's just like an ATM strategy with Ninja, in the sense that I got to create one for gold. I got to create one for ES and save it. I got to create one for, RTY and save it. I got to say, or if they're the same, NQ, save it. But the point is to help. If you start using this, then all you're doing is you're focusing on the chart, and then you're clicking a button to tell the strategy that to follow, for example, on shorts, to follow the bottom of the candle to the left as an entry until the trade is no longer valid, you determining it's no longer valid. Something you don't like about it, something you're seeing different over here in the ES, and you're looking at an NQ and they're now not agreeing with each other or something like that, you can just push the button and it eliminates the trade off your screen too. But as long as everything stays valid, and that's what you can spend your time focusing on instead of looking at this to make sure your entry's in the right spot, I just think it'll make you more effective for what you should be worrying about if you're trading this strategy, and that is the validity of the trade and your confidence in the trade all the way to the point that the trade is entered. And this will help you do that. I'm going to show you it here in my sim mode. I've been screwing around with it already this morning, and in my sim mode, I made $1,467. Bob, how'd you make $1,467? Well, because when I turned the damn thing on, I went through the whole process of loading it right here this morning, and I forgot that the damn thing is set for risk reward, and the risk was $1,000 in the first place on the trade. So it dropped in like, it went off the size of the candle and stuff, and it dropped in like 13 contracts or some crazy stuff, something like that. In the, I think it was in gold. It was in gold. Anyways, so the other thing that's kind of cool about it, and I'll show it to you, is as long as it's on, it'll draw lines and show it it looks really cool. It'll draw lines from where you entered to where you got out, and just kind of it's kind of cool. So let me show that to you. And again, there's a video that's in the link also. The deal with the video is 90% of and I suggest watching the video. The guy presenting it is really good and obviously giving a much better description of how to use it than me. But I'm going to do a description only because 90% of this video does not even pertain to how you'd be using it for the strategy, because it's I'd say more correlated with stocks, because it's just taking, anyways, because it does calculations of how many contracts you should be, or how many shares you should be buying. If if you're trying to risk, $500 on a trade and trying to make, $4,000 on a profit or something like that. So anyways, so 90% of the video is that. The video doesn't even, at the 36-minute mark of the video is when he says, oh, by the way, and this is how you use it for ticks, not risk reward. So, but I do recommend watching it because you can see all the different idiosyncrasies of it. So anyways, here we go. Hold on. Okay, so here we are. Here we are. This is gold. And I created a sim account to do this. And I highly recommend you do the same thing till you learn how to use it. Okay. I highly recommend you do the same thing till you learn how to use it. But anyways, what I did, real simple, is right here when you go to tradesaber.com, this is the website. Okay. All this stuff is free. But this guy does sell one thing. And by the way, I'm not an affiliate. I never did become an affiliate. I have nothing to gain on this. I'm just showing you. He does have, and I have no idea what differentiates this order entry tool from the one that is free to download. I really don't know the difference. And it doesn't really matter because the one that we download does exactly the things I need it to do. But he does have one you can buy for like $365. But anyway, so in here is free downloads, order entry buttons. Okay. And this is the section where you just, download it, which I already did. I did it today. Here it is right here. Where is it? Downloads. See, I'm not making this up. I literally downloaded it today at 7:16 this morning and loaded it. All right. So I'm doing this literally this morning and then got it started. I haven't had this on my corrected Ninja without OneDrive and all that garbage. But once you download it, then you just go to where is it? Here it is. You go to tools, import, NinjaScript add-ons, and where is it? Why is it not doing it? Oh, there it is. And then you just load it. You click on it, open, it'll load it in, and it's going to load as a strategy. So for those of you that don't know, that's a little different than an indicator. Indicators don't have to be turned on and off. Strategies have to be turned on and off. So in the strategy tablet of this thing here, you got an enable button, and there it is. Here it is, right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable it this is what it looks like. Okay, just like it did here in this little video. All right. So, but what we are going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to kind of manipulate it. So I'm going to turn it back off. Okay. And bear with me because I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed on this stuff. And go into strategies. And here it is. It'd be great while I'm doing this if people would quit texting me. Hold on here. So anyway, you've got risk reward mode or tick mode. I have mine set to tick mode. So what does tick mode mean? Tick mode means that I want to make my decisions based off tick, not off risk reward. It's just the way I want to use the damn thing. But what it does is it allows me to put an order, limit order, click on that button, tick offset 1, stop loss, tick on that, candles used 1, stop loss, tick offset 10. So like in gold, for example, I want my order to be 1 tick off either the high of the candle to the left or the low of the candle to the left. That's what this means. Okay. And same thing, same thing here. It's 1 candle, 1 offset. Okay. I mean, 1 candle used. 1 candle, meaning the candle to the left. So I want to use the exact candle to the left, which is 1 candle over. And I want to use an offset of 1. So if the candle has a high, and I'm looking for a long because I'm looking for longs, then I want to have my entry 1 tick above. If the candle is low, if we're going low, I want it to be one tick below. You'll see in a second when I show you. So anyways, and then I have it set for a stop loss because this is gold at 10 and I have a profit target of 40. Okay. And then I have nothing else to worry about. Okay. There's some break even stuff that you can put in here, but you can also manage break even by pushing a button. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But you guys know I like to you guys know I like to manage my trade in my hand. Once I'm in, I need to focus because I don't like to trade too often. The other thing is you can delete that, which gets rid of all that Discord stuff and things like that at the bottom of your screen. And you can go down here and you can get rid of the label also. That's gone. And then I know this sounds crazy. And then you just go in and you save and you just put, GC template. All right. And boom, save it. There you go. So now you have that one. So every time you put your strategy on, which is order entry button strategy, there it is. You can then load your template, which will be GC template. Notice I don't have any templates in here. I'm literally doing this fresh right now. So let's just go ahead and apply. So for those of you that don't know, you can enable it right here, which turns it on. And there it is. Or you can also keep this open and you can open and close it here. Okay. And and by the way, you can pick your in here. Let's go back in there for just a second because this is, again, I know a lot of you know this stuff, but some of you may not. But you want to pick your account too. I only have my SIM account on right now, so but if you have like multiple Apex accounts or whatever, you can pick your lead account right here, and then that's the one that's going to trigger, and then the rest are going to trigger from your trade copier and that kind of stuff. So here it is. So now that we have this thing turned on, all right, and we're in whatever mode this is. Let's just say we're looking for a short. So we're going to hit the sell button. See this? Green means that's where the entry is going to be. Red means that's where the stop is for now. Okay? And what you're doing right now is you're just waiting for it to either trigger or not trigger. So the lines show you where your stuff roughly is going to be. Roughly. Because, you get slippage on your fills and things like that all the time. I should have set this up on the NQ boy because it just had a beautiful red line trade. Wow. Anyway, so here we go. Let's just see if we can get it. Would have been nice if the candle had gone up so we could see. All right, so now you're in. Boom. And you're in. And so what it did is it automatically set your target down here at 40 ticks. It set your stop here at 10 ticks because that's the way I set it. Look at how amazing that is. We're actually making money. So anyway, that's your sell low button. You click on that, and that's what it does. Your buy high button would have done the opposite. It would buy off the top, and you would have a green line on the top. The green means that's where it's looking to enter. The red means that's where it's looking to put your stop when those lines are on your chart. Okay. And then you can you can push the break even button. I think might be a setting I have to put. I can't remember. There might be a setting I have to put on that to get that to work. Wow. Isn't this nice? Wouldn't it be nice if this was real? Holy shit. Look at that. Wouldn't this be nice if that was real? Yeah, that would have been really nice if that was real. Holy cow. Look at that. That's just, of course it's doing this because, we're not actually trading for real. But hey, guess what we did know? Guess what we did know? What did we know? We knew the market was going down. How did we know we were going down? Because we're below that red line and we're just looking for the break of the zone. We knew that. That's the one thing we did know. Come on, hit our target for us. Now you can move these things. See, I'm moving them. I can move them if I want. Like if I want to take this and move it down further, I can do that. It doesn't, just because it's a strategy doesn't mean it locks you up and puts you in stupid mode. If you want to close out your position, watch this. We'll close it out. Bam. See, it drew your line from your entry to your target, gave you your numbers, told you what you did there. You bought to cover. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So what you did not get to see, and let's see if we can get a situation where we can show it. Let's do another buy. Let's do another sell low. Watch when this candle closes right here. Okay, we're one tick below this candle right here, and we're 10 ticks up on our stop. This is just giving us an idea where the things are going to land. Let's wait till this candle closes and watch what happens to these lines. Watch. This is the cool part. Okay, ready? There it goes. Bam. Did you see it move up? It moved up because the bottom of this candle was higher than this candle, so it followed it. Let's keep going. Let's watch this. This is the best part. So what it does is, again, it allows you to keep looking to the left, looking at your other charts, and your order entry is being managed instead of you having to drag and drop stuff. And then if for whatever reason you don't want to take, see how it says live right here? You don't want to take that trade, you just delete it. Okay, now I just ruined. Well, no, I didn't. Okay, so I pushed the button again because it puts us at that candle there. Watch 15 seconds from now. Watch 15 seconds from now. This is where it gets cool, man. This is where it's doing this for you. So you're just looking at the charts. You're just paying attention to the charts, making sure the trade still looks valid to you. Boom! Drop that line right up there for you. Bam! That is what I say is functioning better than you manually. And I'm telling you, that really is a big deal when it comes to things like the NQ. Because the NQ can just be like, especially as the candle's closing, it can start spiking one way, and then you're trying to put your order down, and then you put your order down, and you put it in too low, and you're in the trade, stupid stuff like that. So that is the key. So the link to tradesaber.com is down below. Not that matters. You can type in tradesaber.com yourself, And what I highly suggest is you watch the video, but you recognize what you can use it for yourself. See, boom, right back up. So if we were playing the 1 minute gold line, see how it kept following it for us? And of course, the smooth pullback part will stay valid just by the mere fact that this thing's rotating up for us. And all we're doing is making sure the trade itself stays valid, and that the candle's above and below the gold line, and if this candle opens and closes north of it, we just click the live button off and the trade goes away. Is anybody excited by that? And then let's just say, back down here, let's just say you don't want this thing on anymore. Boom, but it's gone. That simple. And then you can go back to using this. All right. So let's just do this again. Oh, shoot. All right, well, we're in, but we're not in because I didn't. Hold on. Dang it. Well, let me just sell market. We're in. Okay, we're in. I just wanted to get one in for a second, because what I wanted to do is say, okay, now you're in, and for some reason you just don't, you don't like what's going on, whatever, you can just close position. Boom. See that? So, you got to if you push the close position up here, you kill the strategy. So you have to, like if I pushed it here when I was in the trade, let's just do one. Let's just go short market. So we're in, and let's close strategy here. Now the strategy goes away. So if you just use not that it matters, because you can just turn and enable the strategy back on, but I'm just showing you that. So let's just do a buy high here. See if we get a rotation up. And just see, and you can adjust your settings. Like I said, if for the NQ, you can obviously make your target 100 ticks if you want, make your stop, 25 ticks if you want, RTY, you can do all that stuff the way you want. You know what I mean? But it's just that simple. So that is what I wanted to show you guys. And I was going to show you this a long time ago, but man, I don't even know where my there we go. I didn't even know where my video was. I couldn't find my video anymore, so I can manage it, my recording. So, anyways, that's it. That's it. I just think, and notice again. So this candle closed. It moved the order one tick above it. See how it did that? It does it for you. So all you're having to do is just focus on the validity of the pattern still. This isn't a valid pattern, but I'm using it to try to get this to move and show you what's going on. It shows you where your stop is. It does not show you where your target is in conjunction until you actually enter. But anyways, so that's it. I love it. I'm gonna refresh my memory on how to use it now that I've got it reloaded on my charts, and I'm gonna start using it again. I was using this with Apex, and I wasn't really that concerned if something got screwed up, because I was using Apex sim accounts anyways. But I never had any problems with it. Beyond your potential stupid stuff, which would be like, for example, the candle's like you're looking for a long here, let's just say, and the candle's ramming its way up, and at the close it jumps, and this hasn't dropped down. You can get it could kind of cause itself to not take the trade, because both things happen simultaneously. I mean, there's some little things but again, you have the same problem when you're trying to drop your own trade in. You know what I mean? When they're just running in the same direction at the same time. But anyways, that's it. I hope everybody likes that. I know it should make your trading easy. It's just you have to go through the process of just, setting up your templates. Well, and by the way, because of the way I use it, it's really simple, setting up the templates. Because of the way I use it, it's real simple, because I'm using it with a specific target. I'm using it with a specific stop to get the lines on my chart, and then I manage, by hand. Now, there are some elaborate ways to do trailing stops and things like that. I haven't gotten into that, but this is a pretty powerful tool. So there you go. Everybody have a good day. Hopefully I make some money today. I don't know. I'm kind of busy. But between today and tomorrow, I got to get another $300. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. Oh, one more thing. See this thing down here? This really pertains to that risk reward stuff that I'm not even using. So you can literally push this button and boom, it's gone. So you don't have to look, that doesn't have to be on your chart. Just like the hide fib thing, show fibs. I don't have that stuff on my chart because I don't really care about fibs. But anyways, so yeah, I wanted to show you that too. It's just, so that these are, by the way, in his video that he does for this product, it shows you this, that how to do these buttons down here and stuff like that. And it is pretty cool because you can cause your entry candles. I'm in a trade right now, so I can't show you this, but you can cause your entry candles to not be the next candle to the left. You can have it be the second candle to the left or the third candle to the left. Things like that. You can change those numbers by pushing these entry line buttons. And the same thing with the stop line buttons. You can have it follow the candle. Like if you were using candles to the left, highs and lows or whatever as your stops, you could be doing that. And by the way, notice how I'm not in this trade and it went right to target. Well, but see, there you go. So then it gave you your little line from here to here. It looks like because we shut the strategy off, we lost the lines we had in here before. Oh man. The only problem then, this is for me problem, not for you necessarily, is if I shut my charts off and turn my charts back on, it won't show where my entries are. Let me see. Let me do this just for a second here. Let me disable the strategy. Are my lines gone? Yeah, my lines are still gone. So my orders aren't even showing anymore. I don't remember any of this right now. So my orders don't even show anymore. Well, shoot. There might be something I can do to make the orders show again. I don't know. Do they show? By the way, see, I'm doing pretty good. $1,900 using this today. $1,900 using this today. The executions are in here, I think. Yeah, the executions are in here. I've just lost I don't have my markers anymore. Anyways, all right, I don't have my markers anymore. I'll have to think about that. Because, I want you guys to literally see that my entries and my targets, I'm not making this crap up. Anyways, I'll have to think about that. Because I am going to turn my charts on and off and stuff like that. And my orders are now gone. Anyways, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, so I've done this a couple times. Setting up ES, setting up RTY, and setting up GC. So let's just do NQ. When you open it up, it's at risk reward mode. We're going to drop it into tick mode. We're going to do custom position size. Click that. We're going to go in here and put one contract for me on the NQ. RTY did 2 contracts, blah, blah, blah. And then entry tick offset. Everything's going to be an offset, if you want to be 1 tick above the candle, 2 ticks above the candle, whatever. The NQ is, one of those ones that if you want to do more than 1 tick, you can definitely do that. But anyways, limit order, tick offset 1, stop loss. I'm going to set that as a hard number. So, cause this is my NQ, I'm going to go with 25. I'm going to go with 25 for right now. I'm trying to remember, what do I have my setting at here? Well, I can't go into it when I'm doing this. And then final target. All right. In my case, it's 100. Okay. So 100 for that. And then just keep on going down. Ignore everything. Get rid of that Discord stuff and all that stuff. Get down here and get rid of the label. And then go down here and where is it? And then down here, I got it dropped into, when you have your accounts, you pick your account. That's the one it's going to trade off of. And then, your enable button to, once you say, okay, now, remember you can use your other thing to manage your on and off also. And then last but not least, once you're done, save. So in this case, I'm just going to call it NQ. Notice I did my ES1, my GC1, and my RTY1. Save it. And then okay. And boom, there it is. And now you can just, test it. So like, let's just do a buy high. It's going to put our lines off the high of this candle to our left, the first one to our left. Now, watch this. Let's just do this just for the heck of it. See if I can do this. We're doing a buy, right? So let me add that. If I push that button, one, look at that. It raised it to 2 candles over. Isn't that cool? It raised it to 2 candles over the high of either candle to the left, but at least it takes into account at least 2. Minus, it brings it back down to the candle to the left because you told it to only look at the 1 candle to the left. Just a little cool thing. Anyway, so let's just, and then boom, it dropped it down here. It didn't get filled. See, that's what I was talking about right there. That's what I was talking about right there. If it jumps, it may jump your entry. It may jump your entry. If when the candle closes, when this candle closes, it may jump your entry. Now it came back and grabbed us. But anyways, but you have the same problem when you're dragging your order. I mean, you have the exact same problem when you're dragging your order. And how many times I've dragged my order and gotten filled in this candle when I haven't even broken. Oh man, that's frustrating. Look at that. I mean, I'm just on fire with this stupid thing today. I really am. I was screwing around with the ES, man, and I nailed an ES trade. This thing's just growing and growing. Look at this. We're up to $2,700 for the day. Jesus. Anyways, so let's do, and I'm going to get rid of that. So the show hide. I hide this thing. I don't need it. Okay. Boom. There you are. That's it. Now I again, there are instructions in here how to manage stop losses. If you want trailing stops and things like that. If I'm in a trade, I'm hyper focused on that trade and I want to manage it myself. But anyways, isn't this ridiculous? Look at this thing go right off. By the way, right off the red line, of course. I mean, off the 1 minute gold line. It did a little hanging out here, but then it finally went. But anyway, so I wanted to show you that it's that simple. It's that simple to set the template up. So don't be intimidated by that. All right. Bye.